All right, so here is your January 2026 real estate market update video. We're going to get into all the latest stats for the cities of Temecula, Murrieta, and Menifee, California. We're going to talk about average sales price. We're going to talk about inventory, how many new listings are coming up on the market, and then how long the average home is taking to sell. So let's go ahead and get into it. Hey guys, hey again, my name is Justin Short. I'm a realtor and team leader with the Short Real Estate team here at Keller Williams in Temecula, and this is our monthly staple video. This is the market update that we do each and every month, and we're going to go over the cities of Temecula, Murrieta, Menifee, California, and then we're going to compare today's stats versus last year's stats, kind of show you how the market has changed over the last 12 months. And of course, I'll give you some of my opinion on kind of what I'm seeing on a daily basis and what we're expecting to happen over the next handful of months, and really what we're keeping an eye on. So hopefully it's good information for you. But before I get into all the info, if you are liking real estate videos like this, please do me a favor. Please hit like and please hit subscribe to the channel. Obviously, and it helps me and it helps my channel as we try to continue to grow it. And then we have new videos that we put out each and every week just like this. So from market update videos like this to best neighborhood recommendations, comparing the different cities and the pros and the cons and best school districts and worst school districts and all that different types of stuff. So if you want to stay on top of that, the best thing to do is hit like and hit subscribe, and you'll see those videos coming each and every week. And then if you guys have any real estate questions, you can feel free to reach out anytime. So you can see my information down below. You can feel free, you can call, you can text, you can email me. Happy to help point you in the right direction. Or of course, if I can help you with your real estate search, would love to be a resource for you. I'd love to have the opportunity to help you and your family. Obviously, that's how I earn a living. So would love the opportunity to help. So cool. All right, let's go ahead and we'll get into all the information. And just like usual, we're going to start with the first stat we're going to talk about is the total number of new listings, and we're going to start with the city of Temecula. So a year ago, so this would be January 2025, the city of Temecula, we saw a total of 122 new listings pop up on the market. And then this year, over the last 30 days, so January 2026, we've seen a total of 125 new listings pop up on the market. So it's just about a 3% increase, more or less about the same. I mean, it's 3 additional homes coming up on the market this year compared to last year, but more or less, it's pretty flat line, right? In the city of Murrieta, a year ago, we saw a total of 129 new listings coming up on the market. And this year, we are down a little bit. We're down to 118. So it's 11 less houses this year compared to last year. It is about a 9% decrease, but it's not super substantial. I mean, it's 11 houses, not a ton different there. And then the city of Menifee, we did see a bigger change. So a year ago, we saw 186 new listings come up on the market. And this year we are down to 144 new listings coming up on the market. So that's a 23% drop. That's definitely more significant. It is typical this time of year, December, January, that we see less inventory coming up on the market, right? Less people that want to make the move, and dealing with holidays and personal things and all types of other stuff that's going on. But the change in Menifee is definitely pretty drastic, and I think that's probably just a reflection of the market that we've seen. We've seen a slower real estate market over the last 6 months. People, when they know it's slower, they know maybe they won't get the same price that they would have a couple years ago or a year ago, or it's going to take a little bit longer. It's more of a hassle, kind of holding off until maybe what they hope is a better seller's market coming soon. All right, so the next stat we're going to talk about is the total number of active listings in each city. And basically this is, hey, if I'm a home buyer and if I want to buy a home, let's say in the city of Temecula, how many homes are there out there for me to choose from? Like how much inventory is sitting out there? So the city of Temecula a year ago, so again, this would be January 2025, if you wanted to buy a home in Temecula, there was a total of 560 available homes for sale. This year, we are down slightly. We are down to, actually pretty significantly, I would say. We are down to 501 available homes for sale. So that's 59 less homes. That is 11% decrease. And this is kind of surprising. I think this is the second month in a row now that we've seen less active listings this year compared to last year, and it's kind of surprising. I think there's a couple reasons for it, but we have seen a slower market this year. There are homes are taking longer to sell this year. We have seen more homes sitting on the market, right? More price reductions, etc. But so the active listings, I think it's a result of one, not as many people putting their home on the market, probably thinking that it's a little bit slower, and then two, we have seen a big uptick in canceled listings. So people who had their house listed for sale, it hasn't sold for whatever reason, it sat, and they're finally like, hey, I'm frustrated, I don't want to deal with it, I'm going to cancel the listing, I'm going to stay, or I'm going to rent it out, or I'm going to do something else with it, and so they've just pulled it off the market. So in that case, that would lower the amount of active listings as well. So again, it is a pretty big change as far as I'm concerned. 11% less active listings, but it's not because the market has really heated up, an incredible amount. I think it's more, people pulling their house off the market and then less new inventory coming. But this is something, to me, it's interesting, and I want to keep an eye on over the next few months for sure. City of Murrieta, a year ago, there was a total of 561 available homes for sale. This year, it's down just slightly to 557. So, I mean, it's 4 less homes this year compared to last year. It's not real significant, just about a 1% change. But City of Menifee, a year ago, we did see another, bigger change. So there's a total of 650 homes available for sale a year ago, and this year we are down to 618. So that's a 5% change, but still it's 32 homes less this year compared to last year, and I think that's kind of following the same boat that you're seeing on the stats there in Temecula. All right, so the next stat we're going to talk about is the average days on market, and this is just how long the average home is taken to sell in each given city. So a year ago in Temecula, so January 2025 in Temecula, the average home was taking about 38 days to sell. This year, homes are taking longer. We have seen an uptick for sure. The average home in Temecula is now selling in 52 days. So it is taking longer. It's a big percentage, 37% change, but it is, it's 2 weeks longer. The average home is taking a couple weeks longer, but we are still under 60 days. We're not even 2 months. This is still be considered a really well-balanced market, even kind of a seller's market. Usually once we get over 90 days, we start seeing it considered more of a buyer's market. So it's kind of interesting to see this stat after what we just saw. We saw, available listings going down, but homes still taking longer to sell, which is why I'm telling you that we have seen an uptick in canceled listings, and we're seeing some other changes in the market that are, people are just making different decisions, because this is kind of an atypical stat that we see compared to the last one. So, but City of Murrieta, you're kind of seeing the same trend, actually even more so percentage-wise. But City of Murrieta, a year ago, the average home was selling in 38 days, and this year it is now up to 60 days. So that's a 58% increase. That's it's 22 days longer this year compared to last year. I mean, it's definitely an uptick for sure. It's definitely significant. And then Menifee, you saw a little bit of an uptick, but not quite as much. So a year ago, the average home in Menifee was selling in 44 days, and then this year, the average home is now selling in 47 days. So 7% increase. It's taking a few extra days, not super significant, but Temecula and Murrieta definitely taking longer for that average days on market. All right, so the last stat we're going to talk about, and really what everybody cares about the most, is the average sales price. And so you might think, based on some of the other stats we talked about with, as homes are taking longer to sell, right, we're seeing more canceled listings, that we've started to see, the average prices really dip down in the surrounding cities. But that really isn't the case. Actually, all 3 cities, average pricing is actually up. And honestly, as a real estate agent and working with clients every day and looking at homes and comparing what we're seeing this year as opposed to what we saw a year ago, I think that's definitely the truth. I mean, that's what I see on a daily basis. I see homes have gone up slightly. They continue to appreciate, and even in a slower market, pricing here at least is holding really steady. Here's the numbers. We'll get into all the numbers. So a year ago in Temecula, the average home was selling for $908,000. And this year, the average home has gone up and is now selling for $950,000. So that is a 5% increase, and that's pretty significant. That's a $40,000 jump, over $40,000. So, that's substantial. And again, based on the other stats, I don't think it's what most people would expect to see. City Murrieta, kind of same trend. So a year ago, the average home was selling for $690,000, and this year it is now up to $725,000. So again, it's an uptick. And then in City and Menifee, a year ago, the average home was selling for $530,000, and it is now up to $547,000. So that's $17,000 more this year compared to last year. But in general, across the board, all three cities, pricing is trending up. Again, inventory is starting to shrink. We're seeing less new listings coming up in the market, but homes are still taking longer and longer to sell. So anyways, I hope that's good information for you guys. Hopefully it gives you some good information about where the market is and kind of what we're seeing on a daily basis. It is interesting now, that we're past the first of the year. We are keeping an eye, of course, on the interest rates and affordability, and kind of see if we start to see the market heat up a little bit more here in 2026, or if we start to see more of the same. So feel free to reach out if you guys have any questions, and hopefully talk to you soon. Thanks.